What's good, y'all? We got a video here by Jamari, and I think he's trolling. How Lil Nas X lost 69% of his fans in 1 year. What did he do that was that bad? Cause like he been out of the headlines. I know like he was in the headlines for the wrong reasons a lot. Like a few years back. And then he had that song with Jack Harlow. Like it got like the horns and stuff go dun 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 dun. It's in all the commercials and they play it in stadiums all the time. You probably heard it before, but I ain't heard from dog since then. So let's see.
Back in 2019, Lil Nas X hit lightning in a bottle when he dropped the song Old Town Road. This guy came out of absolutely nowhere, sleeping on his sister's couch after dropping out of college, and suddenly he had the biggest song in the entire world.
Then I found this beat on YouTube, which is the Old Town Road beat by this guy named Young Keo. And I made this song. It was like a loner cowboy running away from everything. And Old Town Road is like this path of success and like, we want to continue on this.
He paid
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like he made that up. I ain't never hear what he was talking about or what his inspiration was behind the song, but it had the world in a chokehold. Like you did this. I know this is overused a lot, but you just had to be there when this song first dropped. You could not. I didn't. I couldn't find anybody that disliked the song. Like it was crazy, bro. Everybody was singing this song. And you know what I'm saying? You had the whole cowboy thing, cowboy bit. You thought he would have took the little, like what Shabuzi doing now and pivoted into like a little country career. But because this what he was on. I'm like, all right, cool, little black cowboy. You know what I'm saying? You doing the, but we see where he at today. But continue.
$30 for the beat and release the track independently on SoundCloud.
That was back in the earlier days of TikTok, a platform that over time would gain a reputation for its ability to make.
I don't lie. Was this? I wasn't on TikTok during this time. I don't think TikTok was a thing when this song was released, or I just wasn't on TikTok. Yeah, his time. I don't know, his timeline might be off. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I don't think TikTok was really like a thing. All right.
Make unknown artists achieve hit songs.
This song is kind of hard.
And with Nas X having a lot of experience on the internet in his teens, he already knew how to make memes and other posts go viral organically by understanding the algorithm through the best teacher, trial and error. So for months, he relentlessly promoted this song through memes, trying to force a trend to get attention towards his music.
Putting it into memes and, like kind of forcing it into the internet in a way.
Old Town Road became a meme on TikTok.
Okay, now. On TikTok. I know Instagram, Twitter, yes. Facebook, yes. Snapchat. People was playing it all over Snapchat, but it was in meme videos. And I see people doing the meme thing now where they like put stuff over, they put their songs over stuff to plug their music. And that never really stuck for me. Or just make it seem like your song is a joke. Like if you being serious, just like, now people doing like the lunchroom thing, or they in like this setting where, or like they was doing the mic thing where they had the mic like in the neighborhood, live from the block, I think that was called. Maybe I'm wrong, but like stuff like that where they get a little bit more innovative. And then people start doing like the thing where they was plugging their music and it was just like, oh, you won't believe like this is how his voice sounds and this is how he looks. Like the voice doesn't match the rapper and that thing out that got played out a little bit. I got played way out. It became corny, but man, the things people do to promote their music. But I can't knock your hustle. If it work, it work. But if it don't, at least you tried.
People would drink something called hee-haw juice, and the song would start up and they might be dancing in a hip-hop manner and they would jump in the air and transform into cowboys.
The song became a trending sound, and I really feel like the mixture of modern country over a trap beat really helped create this independent hit.
Is Old Town Road by Lil Nas X a country song? Yes. It is also a hip-hop song. It is.
I just thought it was a pop song, to be honest, but Maybe it was on TikTok when it came out. Maybe I just wasn't there. I wasn't there. I didn't get on that bit till like 2020.
It's a country trap song. It is both.
And once Columbia Records got their hands on Lil Nas and Old Town Road, they were highly incentivized to capitalize on its success, and really to make Nas a superstar while they do so.
How did you get all this money?
I made a song about horses.
And when Billy Ray Cyrus would hop on the remix only 4 months later, it turned this bonfire into a full-blown inferno.
If you go to my past tweets, like 2 days after I put the song, like, Twitter, please help me get Billy Ray on there, because I was like, Billy Ray Cyrus would be perfect for this.
He said, hey, we got this thing, we'd love for your husband to hear it. And I actually stood up out of my chair. I stood up and go, God, I love that. That dude is original.
And as a matter of fact, this song would have several remixes,
Right.
featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, Diplo, Young Thug, various BTS members, and even Mason Ramsey, the yodeling Walmart kid.
And he said he had some really great news that Lil Nas X invited me to be on his song.
And so for over a year, this song plagued the ears of every shopper, radio enjoyer, and really person in the world.
I just made it here in my bedroom, and now the whole entire planet is listening to it.
And as a result, Old Town Road would be solidified as one of the biggest songs of all time, racking up over 1 billion streams and topping the Billboard charts for a record-breaking 19 weeks in a row. This was actually enough to make it the fastest song of all time to reach diamond status. And you have to keep in mind that Nas had purchased the beat for Old Town Road for $30.
Good investment. Good investment. Bro, was that dude? I think he just showed the dude who actually made the beat. I know he kicking himself. $30. He wasn't thinking nothing of it though, but $30. I would ask, can I get some tags, some royalties on there, something on the song? Don't sell yourself short. This be a message to anybody. Don't sell yourself short, dog. He sold himself super short. Man, believe in your work, dog. Cause he just got off on you on $30.
And he recorded the entire thing in a closet in his sister's apartment. And really up until that time, the most notable thing he had done online was run a faceless fan page for Nicki Minaj and basically create viral pop culture memes.
I guess I didn't realize like how great I had become at doing like internet stuff, and so people started telling me. So I was like, is everybody not using the internet this way?
Right.
But yeah, you learn so much like subconsciously just doing the things that you do on the internet.
So for him to come out of nowhere like this was unprecedented, but not unlikely. His understanding of social media and how it played into his blow-up really cannot be emphasized enough.
I saw you made that post on Reddit where you were like, what's that song that goes, I'm going to take my horse to Old Town Road?
Because I knew this is what people want to search.
I mean, don't get me wrong, this was right after the era of the meme rapper, but Nas X was actually getting the numbers to back up his social media persona, unlike other acts whose online antics really seem to outshine their actual music.
Hey, bitch, little pumping this shit, man. I just hit 1 million, and we celebrating with a Zan cake, bitch. Ask it!
Although I will say Old Town Road was not without its own controversy, as people started to say that he stole the entire trap country sound from a rapper named Lil Tracy, who had released a song 6 months earlier called Like a Farmer.
I got horses in my car like a farmer. Yeehaw, finna pick up your daughter.
What influenced the country? Were you a country listener? Did you listen?
I mean, you could see, but that's like, he really trying to, you know what I'm saying, rap. That's why I said Old Town Road sounded more like a country song. Cause I remember that little Tracy song from back then, and that little skit they had where it's like, is it, ain't it? But I don't know. I think they was going in two totally different directions. I mean, you can see the similarities, but the auto tune way up. I think Lil Nas just used his voice. The other songs sound like he joking. The you know what I'm saying? Old Town Road got the potential to be something. Like, I know it's very simple lyrics, but like it seemed like Lil Tracy just trolling on that bit.
Listen to country, or was it just a vibe?
It was genuinely like I saw like one of these like country trappish kind of songs. I was like, damn, what if I did that but better? And you know, that's what happened.
Either way, Lil Nas X was absolutely popping off.
I think
he was performing at elementary schools all around the country, but many still questioned if he would fall victim to the one-hit wonder curse that plagued so many artists, including Billy Ray Cyrus himself, at least before Old Town Road, that is. But on June 20th, 2019, we would see that the dude was actually bigger than one song, as Lil Nas would drop a 6-pack EP. And in that moment, he made it clear that he was really good at blending genres and essentially making whatever sounds he wanted from single to single. Nas went from something that sounded like it should be on a Scooby-Doo chase scene to soft punk rock, futuristic, alternative, and even keeping that country vibe going as well. His 7 EP was positively received by the public, and the songs Rodeo and Panini were immediately deemed as his next hit songs.
What's different between this success you're having now and the success you had with Old Town Road?
I feel like I'm much more in control of, you know? Like, I feel like I have the reins on it.
Now, a mere 10 days after, he would more or less prove that he would...
I ain't gonna lie, that was a good string of music. I was listening to Panini. I ain't gonna lie, that was a go. But he had leaked that song. I remember he leaked it on Twitter, if he was on Twitter during that time, where he was just in the bathroom dancing to that song. He had one more song I think he released on that EP. Maybe not. It was a snippet that he took forever to drop. I don't know if he actually did it or not. If y'all know what I'm talking about, leave it in the comments. But he had another song that everybody was begging him to drop that he never did. Or maybe he did. I don't know.
He was more than a lucky artist who caught a hit. Nas would come out of the closet, telling fans on Twitter, some of y'all already know, some of y'all don't care, some of y'all not gonna fuck with me no more. But before this month ends, I want y'all to listen closely to Closure, a song that appears to be about someone finally accepting their sexuality, later confirming this by saying that the rainbow imagery used in his album cover should have made it obvious that he...
No, I didn't even peep. I just thought it was a cityscape, but I don't think anybody was hating on him for like doing this either. It's what he do after this. We know when he get a little bit creative with the stuff that he was doing. A little out there.
He was gay.
One of your recent social media posts hinted towards you revealing something about yourself in the future. And you haven't revealed that yet. And fans are pretty much clamoring to find out what that is.
I kind of revealed, you know.
You've given hints. What do you think you've revealed?
That I am gay.
And while some obviously resented him for this, while others could kind of care less either way, many championed him for coming out at the peak of his popularity.
Did your family know you were gay?
My dad and my sister, but the same month that I came out, I told them pretty much.
And after this, the guy was absolutely everywhere. He was making music with Cardi B, DaBaby, who was red hot at the time, and of course the real Nas, who inspired his name in the first place. And at that point, it was beyond clear that he was being backed by the industry machine.
Yeah, ain't nobody cared that you was gay, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody cared, dog. He probably, if anything, this made him bigger.
And also that the music was actually good enough to keep him on this upward trajectory. He was getting billions of views and streams on these songs, not even considering Old Town Road and its 1 million remixes. It was like the dude could do no wrong and he was destined to be a pop sensation. Now around this time, Nas would fully embrace his sexuality in both his music and his performance.
This where I was like, all right, bro, you doing a lot.
I would definitely consider this a transitional phase for his public image, as this was something he admits he purposely did, even when it was subconsciously trying to clap back at the haters.
Anybody that's pissed off are the exact people that need to be pissed off, you know?
And at this point, it seemed like fully embracing the villain role and kind of pissing people off seemed to be something that Nas X really started to enjoy.
You know, my videos are much more like sexual and whatnot. And you know, we used to be happy that people would be like, oh, he's not like those other gay people, like all flamboyant and whatnot. And it was like, that's not a compliment, you know?
Going from using mostly comedy online to promote his music to now also using outrage to funnel attention to himself.
So what would you call what you do? Trolling, marketing, what is it?
It's all of it. It's all of it. It's trolling, it's marketing. It works.
Like if people thought he was going too far in his music videos, he would do something more outrageous on a live stage to provoke them even more. If his detractors said that he should be a role model for kids who listen to his music, he would do everything in his power to push himself out of that pigeonhole.
And seeing all these...
If you into that, it's cool. But I just It ain't for me, dog. I'm gonna say it ain't for me. But the rage bait, I'm gonna tell y'all, the rage bait, all engagement is good engagement to a point. See, what he doing worked. Got people talking about him, got buzz, got people watching the video. Now I'm gonna use an extreme. What Kanye West be doing? Don't do that. Don't go anti, the word. Don't do that. But what he was doing, he was pushing the envelope, you know what I'm saying? He was doing giving the devil a lap dance, Again, not for me, not my cup of tea. I didn't partake in that video. I saw what people was talking about. I saw the screenshots. Like Jamari just put down there. By this point, I was like off. Like after Panini, it really wasn't any music for me that I was really checking for bro. Like it just because it wasn't that much of a buzz for me. The buzz wore off. Like after the Old Town Road stuff and Panini dropped in, I was like, all right, he said he gay, cool, whatever. But after that, the music really wasn't, it wasn't it for me. If you still enjoy his music and you like it, cool. But it wasn't for me. I ain't gonna say.
Other artists who are gay kind of just like pushed to like this box of this bowl of gay artists, and it's like you're here.
It really did seem like every single week Nas was doing something deemed controversial, but he would not find himself in real hot water until he released the music video for his song Montero, aka Call Me By Your Name, an allusion that refers to his legal name Montero Lamar Hill, where Nas is featured giving the devil a lap dance after sliding down a stripper pole to hell. This accompanied by
for your own creative purposes, okay. But I feel like this one let the intrusive thoughts run too wild. Some idea, it could have stayed in the box in your brain.
Satanic imagery definitely broke the internet, made a lot of people mad, while others celebrated what they saw as artistic expression. No matter what anyone thought though, this resulted in a massive hit for Lil Nas. I mean, at the time, he had even more monthly listeners on Spotify than Drake. Though I should note, this can definitely be a deceiving metric to gauge an artist's overall success. And he would even double down on the whole Satan thing by releasing a 97 Nike Air Max shoe with more devilish allusions and imagery, including a drop of blood cemented into...
But like, why is the devil thing the selling point? Like, why is I get you rage bait people, you know what I'm saying? You outrage bait, get people to get the controversy to bring it, but like, why the satanic imagery? Like, I feel like you could have did the marketing without that. Like, I feel like this was lazy because he showed he could be more creative marketing than going to this. Because I don't even really believe it. I feel like you're just doing it to piss people off. That's the only reason. And Nike came in these shoes.
To every pair of shoes.
The fact that it's on an Air Max 97, talk about this collaboration and how it came about.
With my song and my video, it was kind of like the perfect matchup. We came together and like this crazy shoe is here. Look at this, look at the blood. That's insane. It's only 666 pairs of these.
Obviously, this would outrage the Christian community even more.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna love it. Some people are gonna be mad or whatever. Like, yeah, people already demonize who I am and put me in a painting of, okay, he's evil, he's doing this, he's doing that. So it's like, you know what, I'll take that. I'll be that, and I'm gonna make the best of it.
You don't have to be lit. You don't gotta make it literal, bruh. You can just continue to piss people off. It's millions of assholes that walk the earth like every day, right now, pissing people off. But they don't go, you know what? I'm gonna actually turn into a devil. I'm actually, you know what? We're gonna put the bar in hell and stay in hell. This look, it's not necessary, bruh. It's not necessary.
And Nike would even leverage a lawsuit against Nas for doing so.
This is about much more than shoes. Mr. Nas X, Are you gay? What does this have to do with the shoes?
As this was an unofficial collaboration to say the least, and this would be the first, but definitely not the last time that Nas would go to war with the Christian community. From here, he would put out a myriad of hit songs, including Sun Goes Down, That's What I Want, Industry Baby with industry plant Jack Harlow, as well as other songs that were well received. Though at that time, he would admit that he feared that his career and overall identity would always be wrapped up in Old Town Road.
Did you ever feel like Old Town Road was bigger than you?
Yeah, definitely.
At one time,
Definitely.
I feel like after when he moved into that bag, like the Old Town Road thing was over because people was done with the song basically. Like the one hit wonder thing wore off. So people gonna say, oh yeah, like was he doing that to try and erase the Old Town Road stuff? Is we putting two and two together and getting four? Like was he trying to do the satanic stuff to, you know, distance himself from the Old Town Road thing? Because I'm like, hey, he's like this now. The Old Town Road, him, like he's dressing completely different. He's very marketable. You could put him in commercials. You could put him in front of children like they did before. You could have him in commercials. He can collab with all of these people. Very easy. Not a brand risk. Then you make yourself, you know, you put yourself in a box to where it's like, yeah, maybe we're not going to set him in front of a bunch of little kids because he has a satanic shoe and satanic imagery and his stuff. Maybe we don't want to put him in front of, you know, maybe not at the kids, the Teen Choice Awards. He ain't going to be there this year.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, absolutely.
This was something that he had to learn to accept.
I have this on because I resented Old Town Road for so long, and it's like, no, that's a blessing. That's a gift from God. Yeah.
During these next couple of years, he would still use Twitter virality and other antics to promote his music, but for the most part, he would stay out of the limelight from 2022 through 2023. But at the top of last year, 2024, Lil Nas definitely wanted to stoke his dimming fire once again, as he seemed to be hitting a bit of a lull in his career. I mean, don't get me wrong, the numbers were still strong, but his audience and streaming numbers, as well as his social media growth, was essentially cut in half. And this was while still releasing singles on a pretty normal basis. After all, with him being a pop artist, an album does not necessarily mean much, and I feel like his, or at least the label's strongest strategy, was to try and make every song a spectacle. Meaning, fuck this big body of work, we want the next big hit. And so he turned to his old bag of controversy, going even harder at Christianity directly with his song J. Christ, where he is pictured as his version of Jesus Christ as well as the devil. This was clearly meant to be his next big single, his next Montero moment if you will, but it completely struck out compared to his other songs that had controversy centered around them, and even people who weren't Christian took offense to his depiction.
I know people was complaining about this, but I never saw this, but like, I see, and I don't even want to go there, but like if this was any other religion than Christianity, he would be canceled. Like it would be done. It would be over with. You would not hear from him no more. They would get him off. They would deplatform, bro. But why do people let this happen with Christianity? And I'm not even like the biggest Christian in the world, or like I'm not Jewish, you know. But I was like, why is this acceptable to do to somebody else's like religion, whether you believe it or not? If I didn't believe in Christianity, like I still would think this is weird. Like if I saw somebody doing this like to a Jewish person or somebody who, you know, like what is it? Was it Muslim, Islam? Am I getting that wrong? Any other than Buddhism, you know, Hindu. If they was getting disrespected, wrong is wrong. Like, you know, that's somebody's faith. Religion is big. Religion is some people, you know, it's important to some people. And whatever it is important, if religion ain't your thing, replace that with what you do care about. The thing you do care about is somebody just disrespected it, like to the umpteenth degree.
Of himself up on the cross. But once again, Nas would come from this standpoint that everyone was taking him too seriously and that he really meant no harm.
But I also didn't mean to like mock. This wasn't like a fuck you to you people, fuck you to the Christians. Like, you know, it was not that. It was.
I mean, it is though. Like, you don't have to come out and say it. you don't have to come out and say it, but the actions, you put a lot of work in to shoot that music video, to put it through, direct, shoot it. Like it was a lot of work before you actually put out that. It wasn't like you just hopped on your camera like you just did just now and said, look at me. Like, no, like y'all put a lot of work in to depict that imagery. And like I said, if somebody was Muslim, if somebody was Jewish, anybody would be offended. Anybody would be offended. If you're a Scientologist, anybody would be offended if you was making fun of their thing like this.
Literally me saying, "Oh, I'm back like Jesus." Like that was like the whole thing. I'm not the first person to dress up as Jesus. I'm not the first rapper. I'm not the first artist, and I won't be the last. And I know, like, given my history with, the Call Me By Your Name video, anything that I do related to religion can be seen as like mockery. That just was not the case with this.
But this time, people were not defending him the way they were before, and in turn, he would actually double down, once again cosplaying as Jesus, and this time mocking the eating of the holy bread and the drinking of wine, which in the Catholic community represents the blood and body of Christ, something obviously not taken lightly by those who believe.
And I will say, though, with the communion video, with me eating the crackers and juice, I thought that video was going to be the video to lighten the mood, to take it down, like, less serious or whatnot. I thought that was something that we all wanted to do as kids or whatnot, but I didn't understand, the reality of what it is. It's me eating the communion, which is like the symbolism of like Jesus's blood and bones or something like that. I don't remember completely, but I do apologize for that. I will say I am sorry for that. That was overboard.
So by this point, Nas had pissed off both the Christians and the Catholics, as well as other people in general who kind of just found the entire thing to be distasteful.
And then, on top of that, like seeing like actual fans like turn and say like, whoa, why is he doing this? Why does he keep messing with these people?
This was obviously a massive blunder and a move that Nas X would regret even more than the music video itself.
Then I looked at the video with me like eating like the communion or whatnot, and I was like, okay, this looks really bad on paper. This thing that I thought was just like a little jokey, fun video.
And like I said before, this song, J Christ, was an absolute flop. This would in turn hurt.
Yeah, I never heard this song, actually. Like, I heard the other song, so yeah, this must have been really bad. I'm not gonna go listen to it, but like, this must have been really bad, because at least you heard my, like, Call Me By Your Name, like, around. Like, I heard the song, but this other one must have been really bad. You put in all that effort, all that budget into that music video, and all that mockery, and now you dealing with all the backlash. You didn't even get a hit song out of it, so that was all for naught. Now you sitting here explaining away. You look goofy now.
Hurt the mental health of Nas X, and at this point he would definitely shy away from the limelight, seemingly right after he was ramped up for his next big campaign in his career. I feel like it's kind of the same vibes of what happened with that movie Snow White recently. The audience had spoken and they weren't listening to this song, debuting at 69 on the Billboard Hot 100 before falling straight off the charts 1 week later. Comparing this to Old Town Road, which spent 49 straight weeks on the Billboard Hot 100, Industry Baby that did 41 weeks, reaching the #1 spot at one point, and even Montero that spent 35 weeks on the Hot 100, debuting at #1, this was obviously a really bad sign. Because now he had all this backlash with no numbers to make it worth it.
I can say as many things as I want, but knowing my history, they look right, I look wrong.
But still, months later, he stood by his decision.
Bleep it out, but my hitters. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna go outside. I deserve to be out here. I deserve the right to exist. Connected with something higher, and I felt like I was just having fun, and I want to get back to that, and not just like, oh, I'm gonna teach my haters a lesson. Like.
And so he would be mostly quiet in 2024, besides the occasional random release.
What are you excited about over the next, 12 months for you? What's something that's inspiring, pulling you and pushing you forward right now for the next 12 months?
I think the main thing I'm focused on is picking myself up out of this hole that I feel that I'm in. You know what I mean?
The hole you dug. The hole you dug. Not the hole you filled up. The hole you dug yourself and doubled down on.
And only a couple of weeks ago would he really begin to campaign for his new album, Days Before Dream Boy. This was released at the tail end of March, and it basically has created zero buzz online, with most of the songs besides the single Hotbox getting less than a couple 100,000 views. And
Okay, I didn't hear that one, but you know, it's doing better than the other ones, 2.8 million. But it's a music video and a song, so I mean, more than what I'm doing. So I ain't got no room to talk. But compared to what you were doing before,
in the first 2 months. In fact, I didn't even know this album had come out.
Right.
And even Lil Nas' social media efforts have been falling flat, with him seemingly unable to go viral.
This new pussy open up doors that ain't never been open before. This new pussy make the niggas fall in love. This new gonna make the bitches fall in love.
It's like he's trying his old antics, but they're not working.
The thing is, if he would have stuck to this before, even if he did the Montero thing, let's say he still did the Montero thing, if he would have just left it at that, I still think the jokey jokes and the trying to meme yourself and trying to go viral for just being yourself, it would have worked. But people got tired of you because you trying to rage bait too much. They just get tired of it. It's like the boy who cried wolf, except for it's the boy who rage baited over and over and over again. They're like, all right, bro, damn, leave the Christians alone. I know sometimes they could be annoying, but dang, bro, you going super duper hard. Let it be.
And this is obviously a massive shift from the time where he could post literally anything and it was getting millions of impressions and positive reinforcement from the internet.
Like, there's a part of you that likes a little bit of chaos. And I was going to ask you, what does positive chaos look like to Montero, and what does negative chaos look like?
I think that the thing is, it's usually when I can control it.
And if it ain't good, and if the music ain't good, you ain't getting that off. You ain't getting that off, because people will deal with a lot if the music is good. They'll forgive a lot if the music is good. So I think that gotta be the focus for bro. Again, I'm not really tuned into what he doing. I didn't know he dropped that album like that for real. I thought he was still laying low, dropping singles like bro said. But probably the thing is to drop good music. Am I checking for it? No, but for his fans' sake, just drop better music. Let's start there. Is it gonna fix everything? No, but it's a start.
I've lost. I don't think I have the grip on controlling it. I feel like it does a lot of what it wants now, you know?
And at this point, even with this new release, his audience has been cut by over 66%.
Dang. Okay, so it wasn't 69, bro. He trolling. Jamar, you trolling, bro.
Since his peak. And now for Nas, he's going to be at a very interesting place in his career. Because without the numbers, the label has already found a new shiny toy to play with. And at this point, they are going to start caring less and less about Nas X and pouring absolutely no gasoline on his career. This can obviously make it very hard to release music, hard to get the budgets he might desire to try and go viral, and overall, it's a really bad place to be for him after they were likely pouring a lot of resources into his career for years.
You know, I started posting the stuff that I wish I would have seen during, like, I don't know, a lot of dark times I've been having in my own life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to share that with the people and, you know, get out of my comfort zone of only being, like, the funny man.
Overall, I do think that Nas X is a talented guy who has obviously accomplished more than most in the music industry. But at the same time, with him constantly changing around his style and sound, it is hard to get a core fan base. And after a while, I feel like the antics can start to hurt your career way more than they help. Because it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, but instead it's the guy.
I did not watch this video, y'all. I told y'all, I'm gonna let him finish the sentence, but I did not watch this video.
Guy who will do absolutely anything for attention. He also...
Okay, he said attention. I said the boy who rage baits. He said the boy who cried wolf for attention. I said rage bait in a roundabout way. The rage gets you attention. Think about the person in the comments that says something absolutely outlandish. He probably has the most likes on his comment and the most replies. He got the attention.
Also alienated his fan base with a few of these moves, And honestly, when your audience is on the younger side, they tend to move on to other artists naturally and swiftly as they age. And your only hope as an artist is that they either age with you, or you keep bringing in new fans of that same demographic. But that is extremely hard to do, especially in pop music. You know, the genre that is most dependent on the industry machine. So yes, I want to know what you guys think about Lil Nas X and the current state of his career. If I'm being completely honest, I do think that it's only down from here for Lil Nas. I don't even know if this guy can really catch another hit. I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious that the label couldn't really give a shit about him anymore. The effects of the memes, the effects of the comedy, the effects of the controversy, it's all kind of worn off. And I just think at this point there's really not that many people that genuinely care. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts down below. I also want to thank you guys for watching today's video, dropping a like and subscribing. But as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some other fallen artists out here need to be covered. So I'm out.
Good video about Jamari, man. Yeah, dog. That's how Lil Nas X lost 69% of his fans. Actually 66%. But hey, man. That's tough. That's tough. Stop rage baiting. Make good music. Leave the Christians alone. Leave the Christians alone. I'm a joker. I'm a joker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the joke police. But that was more than a joke. And without further ado, y'all gonna do something great today. Don't rage bait nobody. I'm gonna get us up out of here. Go.